Voice is off. All the way flat. Jordan. All the way flat. We can all sit on the carpet. Today, you know, I'd love to start, but I need to wait for everyone to be listening. Today we're going to work on something that we haven't talked about in a long time. We're going to be talking about communities. Now I know that before I came to your classroom, you talked about communities, right? So I want you to show me what you already know about communities. I have some pictures to help refresh your memory about what communities might look like or might be called. And before we worry about this, what I just put up, I want to show you some pictures. I have some pictures for you. Are your eyes up here so you can see the pictures? Okay, here's my first picture. Don't say anything, just look. What do you notice about this picture? What do you see? What kind of community do you think this might be? It's been a long time, but I have some clues up here too. Maybe some names of communities. What do you notice, Javier?
It's a suburban.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Javier.
That's a suburban.
Suburban? What makes you think that? Elias, what makes you think this might be a suburban community? Ashley?
Because there's no farmland.
There's no farmland, okay. What else, Bella?
There's no big tall building.
There's no big tall buildings, okay. What else do you notice? Anybody else? Josh?
There's not that many houses.
There's not? Raise your hand if you'd like to say something, Sammy. Rule. Why do you think that? What makes you think that?
Because it's like a neighborhood.
It's like a neighborhood. Okay. Mackenzie?
And usually there will be like bridges next to tall buildings.
Sammy and Elias. I'm sorry, there's usually bridges what?
Next to tall buildings.
In what kind of community, do you remember?
Royal.
Okay. So I'm thinking we might be getting just a little bit mixed up on the different kinds of communities that we talked about. This kind of community, Javier told us, is suburban. This is a suburban community. So some of the things that you guys pointed out is there's lots of houses. There's not a lot of just blank farmland. Those are some of the things that a suburban community is like. I have a couple other pictures for you. Here's my next picture. Oh, that's not the picture I wanted. This one. Here's another one. Is this similar to the picture I just showed you or different? Raise your hand if you'd like to share. Is it pretty close to what I just showed you?
No.
Oh, raise your hand. I don't want to hear shouting out. I want to see nice, tall, quiet, raised hands. Those are the people I'm going to call on. Isaac? Similar. What is similar about these?
Because they all have like they have the same thing because they have the same roads.
They have roads. Lots of roads. What else is similar about these two pictures, Kendall?
They're both suburban and they both have lots of houses.
So they're both suburban, you're thinking, right? We talked about how this is suburban, and since these look pretty similar, this one's probably suburban too, and you said that's maybe because there's lots of
It
houses.
tells it right there.
It does say on it, doesn't it? But you can tell just by the picture, even if the labels weren't on it, you would still know, right? Because you know what a suburban community looks like. Yes, Brandon? Okay, I have a couple more for you. This one's going to be a little different. I see some of your eyes looking straight up here, and that's a good idea. This is going to give you some clues. What kind of community, or what do you notice about this picture that would give you clues about what this community might be? What do you think? I want to give everyone a chance to kind of think about it. Brian, please don't touch. Giselle, what do you notice?
It's a farm.
Looks like maybe some farmland. What else, Zach?
It's rural area because they don't have no tall buildings or.
Okay, so there's not really a neighborhood. There's some buildings going on over here, but a lot of it's just plain land and there's not a lot of tall buildings. What else do you notice, Ben?
That it's only like a little bit of town, so you know it's not like a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. It's hard to tell because it's so far away, but we're not really sure what kinds of buildings these are. My guess would be, since I'm so close to it, there's a lot of maybe farms, maybe a few houses.
I see a farm.
Oh, raise your hand. What else do you notice, Josh?
That. That it's a village, not country. It's a village.
Okay, what do you mean by that? What makes you think that?
Because there's not many houses. It's just like maybe.
Just a few houses, right? So what kind of community are you thinking? Raise your hand if you're thinking this kind of community. Just raise your hand. Please don't talk, you're just raising your hand. Raise your hand if you think it's this kind of community, suburban community. Raise your hand if you're thinking this kind of community, urban. Okay. Let's look at some more pictures. Ready? This is kind of like a zoomed in picture of this one. Now that you see a more zoomed in picture, do you have some more clues as to what kind of community? Make sure you're sitting all the way flat so the people behind you can see. What do you notice? What do you think? What do you think, Jane?
It's a rural area.
What makes you think that, boys? What makes you think that? Now that we're zoomed in, what makes you think that? Sam, you want to help her out?
It's a rural.
What makes you think that from this picture? What kinds of things are telling you that?
Because there's a lot of like decorative stuff.
Okay, it looks.
Houses.
What's that?
There's a few houses.
Just a few houses and lots of just bare land, right? Good. So this would belong out here. Not right now. Maybe later, okay? Here. So, I have a couple last pictures to show you, Jared. Ready? Ready? See if you can get this one. Raise your hand. Tell me some things that you notice. Daniela, what do you notice?
There are a lot of buildings.
There are lots of buildings. What else? Hayden, what else do you notice?
There's lots of roads and cars.
Lots of roads and cars. Right. I want you all. Oop, you okay? Okay. I want you all to stand up really quick because I think we need a little wiggle break. Okay. If we were. Show me with your body. You're with us. Your voice doesn't need to be off because this is our wiggle break. If we can't handle it, we're just going to sit back down, okay? If we were in a community like this, show me with your body what the buildings would look like. Ooh, I see lots of tall buildings. We would be kind of like a city because there's lots of us all bunched together and we're all tall buildings, right? Show me. Oh, ready for the next one? Can you handle it or do you need to sit back down? Show me you can handle it. Can you handle it, Brandon?
You can handle it.
If we were in a rural community, a community like
I can't see.
this, show me what your body would look like. What do you notice about that picture? I see some people getting lower to the ground. There's not very many tall buildings. There's still a couple tall buildings. I like how some of you still stayed up. Some medium ones. What if you were a suburban community? A community like this. What would we look like? What would we look like?
Houses.
So probably not no one standing up really tall, right? It would probably be more like, a lot of you look like pointed houses, right? Okay, let's sit back down. Let's sit back down. Okay. Those of you that are not able to control their voices and their bodies are going to go straight back to their desks. I've given you enough. Jared, go back to your desk. Actually, Jared, can you just go over here to this table so you can still see? You need to go back to your desk. I've given you lots and lots of warnings, and I know it's the end of the day and that you want to wiggle and talk. We still have a couple things to do, okay? I want us, Jared, I hope you can handle yourself at the desk and not have to go out in the pod, okay? Show me you can handle it. I have some pictures, girls, that I want you to help me put up on our board. I was talking to those girls, but I want everyone's help. So I need everyone's help. I have the different types of communities. Remember what this one looks like, and what this one looks like, and what this one looks like? I have some pictures, and I want people to help me decide what kinds of buildings and things would belong in which kind of community. So, in case you don't remember, I'm going to put some pictures up here so you can look at them and double check your answer. Here's one picture I didn't show you, the other urban picture. I'm going to put these pictures right here. Please don't touch. These are just for looking with your eyes. Yep. I'm going to call on the people that are sitting up nice and tall, who have their voices up. They're showing me that they're being really responsible and respectful to their neighbors. Those people are going to help me put some buildings and some things up on our poster board. Let's see. Some of you have been working so hard today. I know it's tough at the end of the day, but some of you have been working so hard right now. Let's see. I have some trees. Actually, let's start somewhere else. Let's start with a barn. Think about it. Where would a barn go? Which kind of community? Do we think it would be... Will you do me a favor, actually? Will you hold this and stand right over there by our poster so everyone can see it? I have one more person. Brandon, do you want to hold it?
Yes.
And stand next to Lindsay? I said actually, but yeah, it did kind of sound like Ashley. And let's see, who else will hold one for me? Jordan? Do you want to hold it next to Brandon? Okay, so here are different types of communities. Lindsay, what kind of community are you holding right
Rural.
now? Okay. Brandon, what kind of community are you holding?
Suburban.
Good. So Lindsay, Brandon, and what do you hold?
Rural.
Urban, right? Right? So, where would a barn go? What kind of picture? Let's see, who has been so ready this whole time? Daniela, you have been so respectful this whole time. Come up here and show me where you think the barn might go. First, tell me who you think is holding the right community for a barn.
Lindsay.
Lindsay. And Lindsay's holding what kind of community?
Rural.
So where, okay, so the rule goes all the way around. It goes in a, it's kind of like a big bullseye. Suburban's all the way around. Urban's this little part in the middle. So, why don't you go ahead and show me where you might put that?
Right there.
Yeah, why don't we put it down here so it's like the grass? Because this is kind of like the sky and this is kind of like the ground. Perfect. Put it right here. I have some other things, Zach. love to have you help me put on if you're ready. Let's see, I have lots of trees. Who thinks they